Hello and welcome back. Today we are confronting one of the most essential but profoundly impactful works of the 20th century, Elie Wiesel's memoir Night. Published in 1960, the concise yet devastating work is more than just a historical account. It's a foundational text in Holocaust literature, a testament to the suffering of millions and a universal enduring call to remember. Night offers a stark and deeply personal account of the atrocities experienced by a young Jewish boy, Eliezer, during the Holocaust. Its significance is rooted not just in historical accuracy, but in its focus on emotional truth, the visceral, subjective portrayal of suffering and its impact on the human spirit. This is what elevates it beyond simple non-fiction. The work's stark, embellished prose and emotional intensity allows the reader to connect emotionally and viscerally with the abstract horror of the tragedy. The memoir's evolution is crucial. It began as an 862-page Yiddish manuscript titled Und die Welt hat geschwiegen, will remain silent. The subsequent pruning of the title into much shorter French La Nuit, an English version transformed an angry historical account into a work of art. This concise, impactful nature, just over 100 pages, is a strength, facing the reader to confront the core horrors without distraction. Perhaps the most defining aspect of Night is its embodiment of the paradox between silence and speech. Wiesel famously declined a film adaptation by Orson Welles, explaining that he wrote silences between his words, and the film left no room for those silences. The deliberate use of silence, echoed in the original Yiddish title, amplifies the emotional impact. It refers to the silence of the victims, the ineffable nature of the horror, the world's indifference, and the most profoundly the perceived silence of God. This literary technique forces the reader to confront the unspeakable and engage with the gaps where words fail, enhancing its capacity to bear witness. Elie Wiesel's personal history is a bedrock of the narrative. Born in 1928 in Signet, Transylvania, he grew up in a community of Orthodox Jews, a deeply religious background that sets a powerful contrast for the profound crisis of faith he later undergoes. His early religious life was marked by the tutelage of Moshe the Beadle, his teacher of Jewish mysticism. Moshe, the first character introduced, is a tragic foreshadowing. His early deportation, escape, and desperate attempts to warn the townspeople of the impending Nazi atrocities are tragically dismissed as madness, illustrating the community's powerful denial in the face of escalating danger. As a survivor, Wiesel felt a profound obligation to share his experience. His prime purpose in writing Night was to ensure that the atrocities would never be forgotten. The intensely personal first-person narrative, described as highly idiosyncratic, paradoxically makes the experience universally resonant, serving as a powerful conduit for the collective memory for the millions who did not survive to tell their story. Night chronicles Eliezer's harrowing journey from his life in Sighet, which began to crumble in spring 1944 following the German invasion of Hungary. Despite signs and warnings as early as 1942, the community's disbelief persisted. At age 15 in May 1944, Eliezer and his family are deported. His journey is an educational reverse, an initiation into a sealed universe of inhumanity. He moved throughout a series of concentration camps, Birkenau, Auschwitz, Brno, enduring forced labor, mistreatment, and witnesses the crematoria, an act that leads to his profound crisis of faith. The journey culminates in the brutal forced march from Brno to Buchenwald in January 1945. The most pivotal character besides Eliezer is his father Shlomo. Shlomo is Eliezer's anchor to humanity and his driving force to survive. Their bond, strengthened by shared suffering, is a crucial measure of humanity in the camps. Yet the narrative unflinchingly portrays the destruction of the father-son bond under duress. This is tragically symbolized by Rabbi Eliyahu, a devout Jew abandoned by his own son during the death march, as he vows never to act similarly, but even grapples with the brutal conflict between survival and compassion, experiencing complex feelings of relief upon his own father's death. The internal struggle underscores the immense moral burden of survival. Other characters highlight different facets of the trauma. Dr. Mengele, the angel of death, embodies Nazi cruelty. Eidik, the capo, and Franek illustrate the phenomenon where victims facing horrible living conditions and constant tortures could become perpetrators, turning cold and rude toward each other in the quest for self-preservation. Conversely, Juliek, a Polish musician, plays who plays Beethoven on his violin before dying, represents the persistence of art and resilience in the face of death. Central themes of Night are interconnected. Theme 1, the crisis of faith. Eliezer's once profound faith falters when he witnesses unimaginable evil. He questions God's kindness and justice, particularly after witnessing the agonizing death of a child, declaring that he no longer accepted God's silence. This is not a simple rejection, but a profound questioning, a theological wrestling that suggests true faith can evoke profound doubt and interrogation. Theme 2, dehumanization. This is a central theme. The Nazis systematically stripped Jews of their identity, reducing them to numbers like Eliezer's A7713. The psychological warfare of the camps were designed to murder souls, not just bodies, by breaking down human bonds and moral frameworks. The narrative shows that the instinct for self-preservation could erode the prisoners' capacity for empathy, making them complicit in their own degradation. Night has secured its place as a cornerstone of Holocaust literature and a critical educational resource. Its conciseness and accessibility make it vital for conveying the impossible realities to young readers. Weiser's legacy as a Nobel Prize laureate and activist profoundly amplifies the memoir's importance. He dedicates his life to the importance of memory, explicitly stating to forget the dead would be akin to killing them a second time. The memoir itself is an act of preserving memory and functions not just as a historical record, but as a moral compass. Night is an indelible testament to the suffering and resilience. By chronicling Eliezer's journey, Wiesel transforms individual trauma into a universal imperative to remember, bear witness, and actively combat hatred, difference in all its forms. Night remains a powerful and essential read. It is a beacon against darkness, compelling us to use the memory as a powerful bulwark against future atrocities. Thank you for listening, and take care. All the best. Bye.